Welcome everybody, welcome to another day in paradise here. I want to do an update video. A couple of things before I start. Nick from Killer B doesn't own Killer B Motorsport. That was just, I must have been a bit of a blur, a bit of a coronavirus brain fog. And he also doesn't have a background in the Air Force. So I just thought I'd correct those two things. Yeah, but anyway, it's one of them things. Yeah, this video is as the thumbnail shown, it's going over the front mount turbo setup because I've got a bit carried away myself and not done any videoing over the past sort of week, you know. I'm feeling miles better now. It's yeah, a big improvement to what I was a couple of weeks ago, health-wise. But you're not here to listen to me ramble on about that. It's only going to be a short video, so I'll get the bumper off and we'll get into it. I'll show you. So yeah, I'm going, excuse me, the opposite way to what you probably want to see. You want to see the bit that's in here, but I'm going from outside in. So we've had to, initially, I was going to have to put the radiator in the boot, you know, to clear the turbo and the manifold. But I had a good day yesterday, managed to, against what I initially thought, we managed to actually squeeze the radiator in the front, which I was real chuffed, you know, real happy with. So to do that, I'll bring you in and show you what he's done. We've got this, as you've noticed, is a little bit flimsy because, shout out to Andy, here's again, he's actually said to flip this upside down so I've got more clearance on the bumper, you know, in terms of intercooler pipework. And the airflow is going to be in more cleaner, it's going to be in, you know, cooler air, more direct. So I think today I'm going to flip this upside down, and I've been to B&Q, B&Q of all places, but this box section that the rest of this front end's made out of, is made from B&Q steel, so it's not that heavy, it's quite light, it's going to do the job, so, and it's not that expensive really. Got a couple of bits, pipeworks and tubes, but I'll explain that in a minute. That was noisy. So yeah, I think we're going to flip this other way around, and then I've got a support coming off here, along, and then where the original one went. I'll put a picture in the screen now so you can see how it was previously. But yeah, I'll strip this off now, and then we'll go a bit deeper. So I've got that, the radiator and the intercooler off. I was actually surprised. I just shocked myself just there how easy it actually comes off. It only took literally 2 minutes. Two Allen key bolts and a couple of bolts on the intercooler. But what I want to go over is what I've changed, you know, from the previous setup to make this to make it work. So, and obviously I want to talk about this because this is the bit that everyone's interested in. So the bottom rail, I've just had to move forward, I think it was 2 inch, yeah 2 inch, moved it further forward. So the intercooler mounting points, which are here, these are the original ones. There's a rivet on top and a rivet on bottom, one for the two different types of intercooler basically. But the intercooler's moved 2 inch further forward, so I've had to trim a little bit of the back of the bumper, a couple of inch, you know, to get the clearance. But the radiator mounts, so I'll put a picture in the screen now for you, the original radiator mounts. Important, by the way, that you put the rubbers back on. These are the original rubbers. So I've just got a bit of T45 tube. They used to be on little L brackets off the back, so it used to be mounted like in this sort of position here. So all I did was flip this bar around, left the little L brackets with the T45 tube on. The tube was a lot taller as well. moved it forward, but then it was fouling on the intercooler, so it was too close. So then I've just cut some more tube and welded the brackets there, and now it's in the perfect location. We've got clearance on the headers, which these are all going to be heat wrapped, and we've got clearance on the turbo on the cold side housing. This is all going to be wrapped as well. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I'll put a couple of pictures up in the screen because it's easier for me to do that than it is to start moving the camera around and getting side shots and stuff. But the other thing we've had to do is we adapted these. These are just straight out of these are AliExpress jobbies, password JDM, but the metal, they don't move, so why not? They fit I think they're like £2. They fit the original Subaru mount rubbers in, but if you can see, they used to have like a bit of a shape to them. So thinking of it now, they might not even be for a Honda Civic, they might not even be for a Subaru, but anyway. All I did was bang them in the vise, flattened them, 180'd them so they were on the front instead of on the back like it was originally. And then I've had to, these originally, I'll grab one sec. So there's your original headlight mounting bracket. Don't need that anyway. It goes that way, I believe, yeah. So as you can see, that's how that used to go. Your front grille used to clip in there, headlight in there, 2 bolts, and the bolt for the headlight there. It was honestly, when I was doing it, it was like it was meant to be. So I've trimmed it, that piece flush, trimmed up there. So we've lost a bit of integrity there, but I'm going to replace it because I'm going to reinforce this again. But yeah, cut the bracket out, cut the metal down, and the bumper then still has 1 fixing point instead of 2. And then we just have to trim a little piece out of I'll put a picture on the screen again, just 2 little pieces like 1 inch by ½ inch off the top of out of the carbon, you know, top of the bumper. And that was it really. Again, obviously trimmed out of here, same on this side, identical. And then as I say, we've removed this crash bar that came out and went across and was the original support, you know, for the intercooler, which is what we're going to be replacing today. And yeah, the fans. We've got a couple of fans, 10-inch I believe, push fans I think. I'm either going to do 2 push fans for the cooling of the radiator, or I'm going to do 1 pull fan at the back here and 1 push fan up here. But we'll see how we get on. The original fans just won't fit, they're too big, massive. But yeah, I'll swap camera angles and then we'll go a bit deeper again. Right, a little bit closer up now. One thing I didn't mention, the engine's back in, and honestly, I was feeling a bit shitty the other day when I come to do it, and I thought to myself, please just go in easy. You know, like if you've done these Subaru engines, you can fight them for hours, and it just seems to be every time I'm doing it, I'm always fighting them for hours. Anyway, lifted it up with the crane, no input from myself. I must have just balanced it perfect, or it must be because there's no ancillaries or anything on the engine, but it literally went in effortlessly, just straight in, tightened the bolts up, bang. I was like, I honestly couldn't believe it. But anyway, the other thing, completely off subject, but decided to cut my own hair the other day because I was feeling a bit shit, feeling a bit sorry for myself, and yeah, absolute disaster. But initially I'd blamed it on Jodie in the barbers, but yeah, it was definitely myself, and it's horrendous. But anyway, that doesn't matter. What matters is this. So I have cut up the original. I'll put pictures in the screen again because I don't want to take all this off to show underneath. But I've cut up the original GT spec headers, the RCM headers. Bear in mind, I'm not a TIG welder. I've done the MIG welding and bits and bobs on the chassis, but never done. Not never, but I've never really had any experience in TIG welding. And shout out to Andy Hughes again. He's lent me loads of stuff, but he's lent me AC/DC TIG welder, so this is doable. But anyway, cut up the stock GT spec headers. Spent a couple of days on it. Didn't measure anything. Just held that roughly where I wanted it on the engine stand, and cut the collector off, welded it. I had a nightmare welding inside the collector, but tungsten was about that far from the torch, but we've done it. Back paged half of it, didn't back page the other half because I got a bit excited with myself and forgot. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it's turned out. They're not nothing super pretty to look at, the welds, but they're definitely stuck. Plenty of penetration. So what else? What's the other thing? The turbo's on. If you didn't notice it, a lot of grinding dust on it. We've got the wastegate, which is a pulsar turbo one again. I've already been through that in previous videos, I think. I couldn't get to go off anywhere else, you know, so it had to go off the collector. And I initially wanted to put it on the back, couldn't fit it on the back because it was too close to the pulley, and just a bit of a nightmare for room really. But thinking of it now, if I would have got it on the back one or more central, I would have been able to fit the stock radiator fan in, but it don't matter. So yeah, I've got it at as much of an angle as I can get it at, you know, so it hasn't got primary flow. I couldn't get primary flow. I could maybe have put an elbow on it to increase it a little bit, but we'll see how it is. We'll see what the boost control's like when it's on. If we have to change it, we'll change it. But downpipe wise, next is the next thing I want to talk about. This is going to be over the next sort of week. It's Christmas now. I'm not a Scrooge, but a bit of a inconvenient time of year for building cars and buying car parts. But we've got a leak up there. I just move that electric. But we've got the downpipe. This was the route that I was originally going to take. I was going to come off 90 degrees down here, back on itself 90 degrees, and then a 45 and up through the stock up pipe location, then down the downpipe. And I just thought, I'm not a professional welder or an exhaust fabricator. That's going to be a massive headache, a lot of work. And also, it's very tight up that up pipe because it's used to only having a 60mm up pipe up there and not a 76mm. I know it doesn't sound a lot, but anyway. So what we are going to do is, I will move the camera in a second after I've explained it, but we're going to go off with the downpipe, we're going to go down with a 90 or just off 90, and then we're going to go straight back. And I'll show you in a minute, but I'm going to notch out of the splitter so that we've got 2-inch clearance off the behind the support bar, behind the anti-roll bar that goes to the subframe. We've got 2-inch clearance there, so we need to cut a nice section. Obviously, this is all going to be heat wrapped to the exhaust. Nice section out of the splitter so that we've got clearance for the downpipe. I may even go to some oval for that little section, and then it's going to meet up with the rest of the exhaust system. Screamer pipe. People got excited on Instagram yesterday. Quite a few people mentioned me, but I had to drill a hole in the bonnet, which I put a picture on. I say that a lot, don't I? But I will. I had to drill a hole in the bonnet, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's screamer pipe going straight out the bonnet." I was like, "No, unfortunately not. Time tag won't allow it. It was to clear the radiator cap, you know, that's about here." So. Yeah, screamer pipe's got to go to a bellow and then back into it'll be on a 90 bellow and then back into the exhaust system at a shallower angle as I can get with this sort of room. So yeah, I hope that clears up sort of. I'll show you what I'm doing with the splitter. I'll move the camera down, and but yeah, I hope that clears up the general idea of what's going on. Yeah, so as I say, exhaust coming down, and then if you can see, let me see where I'm pointing. Here, there's the anti-roll bar, and there's a little frame behind it. That's where we've got 2-inch of clearance, but that's where we're going through. So we're going to have to cut a section out of the splitter here, so we can clear it. But from that, you can see we've got enough clearance, you know, to get through and meet up with the rest of the exhaust system. But other things we've got the brand new Killer Bee sump, which I've done the previous video on. 1 minute, let me move the camera again. Yeah, the brand new Killer Bee sump that we did the last video on. Well, I say I did the last video on. I wasn't happy about it, but it's got to be done. Unfortunately, we've got to drill a hole in the front of it, and I was going to do I was going to weld it, but I'm definitely going to get my mate to do it because I'm not confident enough at welding alley. I'll just blow a big hole in it, or blow a hole in the fitting, sorry, yeah, the sump's really thick. So, turbo oil return, we've got, I won't go into that, but we've got the turbo oil return coming off in AN10, going back into the sump, AN4 is it, or AN6 on the coolant feed and coolant return, do you know, for the, say AN6. So for the turbo coolant return, we've got AN4 turbo oil feed return, and then we've got a few other bits that I'll go over the next few weeks, but basically header tanks moving up to the other side of the alternator bracket with all the various feeds coming off that. There's a bit of pipe work. We've got 2 Bosch 044s going in, and a new cradle. A little piece of pipe work that I didn't do in AN8, the feed to the Y splitter, that's getting changed. And then some ID 1700 or some ID 2000 injectors. I'm not sure yet, really expensive. But yeah, that's it. I didn't want to do a long video, I just wanted to update you with what's going on. If you've got any questions, drop me a message or on any of my social medias. I'll put links in the description. That's always the best place to keep up with everything anyway, because I'm doing daily updates on this on the story and post and stuff. So yeah, any questions, drop me a message on there or comment below. But yeah, keep tuned for the next video. Take it easy.